Hi Jacoba, hi Nerea. Hope you are both well, and welcome to your first lesson with me on YouTube. Okay, so it's a totally different lesson and it's a totally new experience for yourselves and myself too. Okay, so due to the circumstances, over the next little while, you will be having your lessons here on YouTube. Okay, so today what we are going to be looking at is making sure that hope you're both well, and we'll be looking at today of infinitive and verb and ing. And just a reminder to you both is to get your writing exam for PET finished as soon as possible and to email it to me so I can correct it. Okay? All right, so today's video is going to be in two parts. So there's going to be part one and part two. In the first part, I'm going to be talking to you about the infinitive and the verb and ing. And in the second part, I'm just going to do a couple of review activities to finish. All right? Now, let's begin. I want you to open your books to page 66. Okay? All right, so I want you to look at activity one. Okay? So activity one. I want you to read the sentences below. What verb patterns follow the verbs in bold? Okay, so what kind of verb patterns are we using? Are we using object and infinitive, to infinitive, ing form? What are we using? Okay, so look at the sentences carefully here. So for example, attachment to a team appears to develop around the age of 8. What kind of verb pattern would follow that? It's actually to infinitive, because if you have to develop, to, and it's infinitive. All right, now I'm going to give you 2 minutes. You pause the video for 2 minutes and complete activity 1 and questions 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now let's go through the answers. So in number 2, when it says people claim that wearing lucky clothing will make their team play better. What kind of verb pattern do we use here? What kind of verb pattern do we use? Any ideas? Actually, we use what is called the object and infinitive without to. Okay, so without to, you don't need the infinitive without to. Because if you say their team play better, there's no need for it. Let's look at number 3. The effect of being in a crowd allows people to become more confident. What do we use here? In this case, we use object plus the to infinitive. So that means people to become. So that means we're using the object and the to infinitive to help with that. All right. And then number 4, clearly the fan was not personally involved in achieving either success. So what do we use here? Now, if you look at the word achieving, it is the ing form, which is also used with another little tense that I know, which is present continuous or past continuous or any other continuous form. Okay, let's move on. Let's look at activity 2. I want you to read the grammar box for a moment. Complete the sentences with these words. So look at the grammar box here, okay, and the statements for each one. Put the correct word to the correct gap. Pause for 3 minutes and then resume. All right, welcome back. Okay, so what we're going to be looking at now is the answers for activity 2. So what I want you to look at is the infinitive and verb and ing. So when we use the to infinitive, we use it after certain verbs. Agree, choose, arrange, appear, expect, or promise. For example, I agreed to come to the match. What word goes in here? The answer is decide, goes in this one. Okay, so you use decide with after certain verbs. In B, after certain verbs in object, which verb do we use? If you chose the verb advise, you'd be correct. Because it would say for like tell, persuade, want, advised, ask, so on and so forth. She reminded him to buy the tickets. I advise you to do your work. Gotcha. Okay. With C, after certain phrases to show purpose, for example, if you said in order, we arrived early so as to get a good seat. We arrived in order to be on time. That is correct as well. With after adjectives, the correct one would be interesting. So like happy, difficult, exciting, sorry, easy, interesting. It works. We use the infinitive without to for after let and make. Okay, so that's an E. And then when using the ing form, we use it with an F and noun. G after all prepositions and phrasal verbs. And an H if you said the word enjoy after certain verbs and phrases. So for example, I recommend enjoying this tennis player. I really enjoyed watching the film. Okay? Now, before I finish this part of the video, I want you to look at page 150, which is the grammar reference in this column. Okay? So, you have infinitive and verb and ing. So, with the infinitive and verb and ing, we have the to infinitive. We use the to infinitive after certain verbs. So for example, hope, prepare, would like, and want. So or manage, the students managed to finish their work on time. Or refuse, the students, they refuse to leave. Okay, so we use the to there. We use the to infinitive after certain verbs and an object. As you can see in the list on page 150, you will see this. They warned him not to cycle too fast down that hill. Okay? Also, we use it after certain phrases to show purpose. For example, in order to, so as to. So we left early so as to get home in time to watch the match on TV. Involves football, it ain't my favourite thing. Sorry, not sorry. After adjectives. We use it after adjectives for like hard, impossible, possible, or willing. You should wear a coat as it's likely to rain later. I am pleased to see you have taken my advice. We also use the infinitive without to, well, after the verbs let and make. So I let my brother borrow my tennis racket. My mum made me clean my shoes before I went out. Or I would say to anyone coming to my house, I made my friends leave their shoes at the door. Okay? So note that in the passive, we use to after make. So we only use to with make in the passive. So he was made to tidy up after the mess he made. And the last thing to look at in this video, in this part, is the ing form. Okay, we use the ing form as a noun when the verb is the object or subject of a sentence. Swimming is one of the best forms of exercise after all prepositions and phrasal verbs, such as interesting, keen on, good or bad at. There's a huge list. So for example, Julia isn't very keen on watching sport on TV. We also use the ing form after certain verbs and phrases. As once again, read the list very carefully. Karen doesn't mind sharing with Rosie. And there are some verbs that take different structures. For example, recommend. For example, I recommend this film about boxing. It is great. Okay? As I said before, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me if you're not sure. What I want you to do now, and I'm giving you about 10 minutes, and this is the end of part 1 of this video. I would like you to complete the infinitive and verb and ing, activity 1 and activity 2. Okay? Take your time, write your answers, and to submit your answers, you can take a photo or email your answers to me immediately. All right, and I can check them for you. Okay, good work so far, and I'll see you in part 2.